Would you rather have started Twitch or TikTok? We were the founders of a stagnating startup, Justin TV. But how did we go from a live video feed of my life to Twitch? Did you know that we were about this close to never starting Twitch at all? Myself and the other founders of Justin TV were at that fork in the road, deciding between our two ideas, Twitch and social cam. Here's the real story and how close we were to never starting the iconic company you know today.
How's it going? I'm Justin Khan from Justin.tv.
What's up guys, it's me, Justin Khan, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Remember to like and subscribe to hear more story times, behind the scenes of my life, advice, and more videos coming soon. In 2010, we were the co-founders of Justin TV, a startup that began 4 years prior as me streaming a live video feed of my life to the internet 24/7. But it turns out my life wasn't very interesting, and eventually we changed directions and opened Justin TV up as a platform for anyone to broadcast live. By that point, we had built JTV up to be a top 250 site in the world. We had 25 employees, and after a botched acquisition, a story for a later time, we had sprinted towards profitability and had just made it there on close to a $10 million revenue run rate, which was an amazing feeling. After years of working on a startup that only lost money, we had finally turned the corner. Things were looking good.
Nothing can stop me, I'm all the way up.
But not so fast. The year before, traffic growth had started flattening, and this year it completely leveled off. If something isn't growing on the internet, it's a very bad sign, because the internet is growing. We were smart enough to know that flattening was the first step before we completely fell off a cliff. Well, now what do? It was time to pivot again. The four founders of Justin TV got together for several marathon jam sessions. This was myself, Michael Seibel, who's now the CEO of Y Combinator, Emmett Shear, current CEO of Twitch, and Kyle Vogt, the CTO and co-founder of Cruise. We holed up in the only conference room in our office, which happened to be a small closet behind the kitchen. It didn't even have a full door, so anyone in the office walking by could hear as we loudly debated the future of the company. Over the years, we built tons of features and ideas that hadn't worked. We tried building a white label video API, an app to broadcast live on Twitter, an event calendar for live events, and many, many more. Now, these weren't bad ideas, but we had a problem. We rarely talked to our customers. With none of these ideas had we really created a feedback loop with any of our users, and consequently, they'd never really taken off. So what should we try next? Emmett brought one idea to the table. StarCraft 2, the long-awaited sequel from Blizzard to their hit game, had just been released, and he loved it. The only streams that he watched on our site were the StarCraft 2 streams. Emmett argued that we should go all in on gaming, which was a nascent category on Justin TV at the time. About 3% of our monthly viewers, or several 100,000 people. Michael came with another idea. Now, he thought mobile video was going to be huge, and that we should build a mobile video app. Instagram had already taken off. Video seemed like an obvious next step. Let's pivot to build for mobile. Sound familiar? Basically, we were trying to build TikTok 6 years early. But we were deadlocked. We spent hours arguing over which path we should choose. Emmett wanted to work on gaming. Michael and Kyle thought gaming would never be big and voted for mobile. To be honest, I kind of like both. We weren't getting anywhere and we needed some outside input. So I went to my friend Matt Sanchez, the founder of Say Media. Matt was the king of pivots. He had started out as a company called Video Egg years prior. Somehow he had pivoted multiple times and he was not just still alive, he had continued to grow. Emmett and I sat down with Matt and asked him, what do we do? Well, he said, you can't throw away a $10 million a year business. Well, you can, but you shouldn't. Matt told us we should separate into 3 teams. One to keep the lights on at Justin TV, one to work on the gaming idea, and one to work on the mobile video app. Then we should set goals for what we thought success would look like for each of our new ideas. In 6 months, we'd see if we hit our goals. If we only hit one, then we would pick that one. If we hit both, it was a champagne problem. We could decide then. And if we didn't hit any at all, well, we'd just be as fucked as we were now. That settled it. As founders, we agreed to split up into 3 teams. I led the mobile video one. Emmett and our COO Kevin worked on the gaming one. For the gaming idea, we thought that if we grew 15% a month for the first year and 10% a month for the second, we could be bigger than GameTrailers.com, which was the biggest gaming video website at the time at 10 million monthly active users. Now at that point, Emmett and Kevin did something very smart. They started having conversations over Skype with all the existing streamers on Justin TV who were already streaming gaming, and asking them, why are you streaming? What are the things that we can do to make things better for you? Now, it sounds outrageous, but that was the first time we talked to our customers in years. From our conversations, we discovered 2 things. 1, streamers wanted to make money, and it didn't have to be a lot of money. Even $50 a month was significant. That seemed possible and led us to create a partner program to help our top streamers get paid. 2, streamers wanted more fans. We realized that if we could help promote them, they would come to broadcast on our site. So we started building features to support streamers in those two things. And because Kevin was so good at networking and bringing in talent, we started a team called the Network Development Team that hired people from the community to help onboard streamers. Those were people like Fishsticks, The Gun Run, and DJ Wheat. We would go to gaming events like Major League Gaming and DreamHack and just hang out with streamers or gamers who wanted to stream, or even just gamers who wanted to stream. We took people to dinner, we threw parties, and we bought drinks. Lots and lots of drinks. For the first 6 months, we just worked on the gaming category on the existing Justin TV site, with a plan to launch it as its own site eventually. I wanted to call the site justintvx.com, which I thought sounded cool, like ESPN for gaming. Emmett thought that name was terrible, and he was right. The name we eventually decided on was zarth.com, which was a domain we could get. But at the last minute, right before our public launch, Emmett came up with a name he liked better: Twitch.tv. Twitch stood for the fast twitch muscles that you use when you're playing a game that requires reaction time. After spending 5 years explaining to people that .tv really was a domain, and it wasn't justintv.com, I wasn't exactly thrilled. But Emmett unilaterally decided it was going to be Twitch. Meanwhile, the mobile video idea had become an app called SocialCam. We cut the live video feature and turned it purely into an app for static videos. We did a big launch on iPhone and Android. But we had one big problem. Working on two things inside the company was distracting. It was easy for members of one team to think that they would just go work on the other team if their project failed. In most startups, that wasn't an option. It created a sense of security that we shouldn't have had. In 6 months, the results were clear. Twitch had obliterated our goals and was now millions of viewers. SocialCam hadn't grown very much. Looking back, we made one big mistake. We hadn't made it easy enough to create great mobile native video from the app. We hadn't talked to customers and really figured out what kind of video did they want to create for mobile. Eventually, a couple years later, someone did come along and figure that out. First Vine, and then TikTok. So we decided as a team to spin off SocialCam as a new company, which Michael went on to be the CEO of. And internally, we kept working on building out Twitch. As Twitch grew, more and more of the resources of Justin TV went into it, until basically the whole company was now working on Twitch. And the rest is history. 4 years later, we sold to Amazon for $970 million. Here are the key lessons. 1. Talk to your customers. This is the fundamental rule of startups that we'd somehow forgotten. Emmett successfully pivoted the company by asking our target customers who they were and what they wanted. 2. Working on multiple things at once is distracting to the company and almost derailed us. While we were working on Twitch and SocialCam, there was a feeling in the company that if one project didn't work, then the team could always go on and do the other thing. This didn't create the do or die environment you wanted in a startup. 3. Something that seems small can grow into a big idea. We were hesitant to fully commit to Twitch because it seemed like a niche. But the most important thing is to make sure your customers truly love you, even if it's a small number of them. And it's likely you'll be able to grow into adjacencies or the market will grow around you. Boom. That's the video. Thanks for watching. If you did, bang that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon.